Prisibe, don't keep any secrets from me. Fenric's voice, which delivered his words in a hushed tone, was lower than usual. However, Preseppe was not looked at any differently than usual. His red eyes, resembling a burning sun, did not reflect any murderous intent, and he did not make any action that might cause her pressure. But there was something strange. Was this person's atmosphere always this dangerous? Was she imagining it? If you have secrets, it might affect my protection of you. Fenric continued. My first priority is always your safety, and I don't want anything to happen that might put you in danger. What he said wasn't wrong. But that was only because he didn't know her true situation. How could she tell him that this place was just a game? And that she has to find the real hero to win and get out of here? And that she has to return to her true reality? Won't you promise me that? Fenric smiled slightly and asked her. Even me, if you refuse right in front of me, it will hurt me. No, it's not like that. I know very well how much you do to protect me, and I appreciate it very much. So, I will try to be as honest as possible in the future. That wasn't a lie. But it just won't say anything about this being a game world or about the real hero. There was no way for Fenric to know what was on her mind. For this reason, he just smiled his usual smile. Honestly, Presepe wasn't the only one keeping a secret. Fenric too was no different from her. Prisibe is a half-beast. Her father was a monster, and he was killed a long time ago, by humans. As he rethought Vidar's words, the smile disappeared from Fenric's face. He had to tell her that. But can he trust that man's words? How could he believe an entity that didn't even show his face, and was talking about vile monsters? While Fenric was lost in thought, Precipice suddenly interrupted him. Anyway, thank you, Duke. Why suddenly? I was a little worried. I was afraid you would look at me differently if you knew I had monster blood. For Presepe, her father's presence was tied to Vanessa's will. On the other hand, Vanessa's will was likely a key clue to finding the real hero. Therefore, it didn't matter to her whether her father was a monster or a ruler. The most important thing was to uncover the truth and find the real hero. However, Fenric was not in her position. He lived in this world as an ordinary human being. In this world, monsters were attacking and killing humans. For him, this is probably crucial. This will never happen. But Fenric answered very firmly. No matter who you are, nothing will change for me. Truly? Even if you find out that I'm not the real Presepe? Sometimes I think you have a tendency to worry for no reason. Fenric said, smiling weakly. Instead, why don't you think of something else? Something else? Like what? What do you want to do? Huh? What will you do when you are free? When the day comes when no one can restrict you or control you, when there is no one to bother you or put you in embarrassing situations, as you said before. What will you do then? In other words, when I exit the game? This was a dialogue between two people with completely different ideas. I don't know. At first, I thought there were a lot of things I wanted to do, but now I can't remember them clearly. What exactly did you forget? Everything. I even forgot who I am. The only thing she remembers is her real name, Juyeon. But she doesn't know why she holds her hand over her heart when she feels afraid or confused. She doesn't even know why she turned on this damn game in the first place. What was she looking for? What are the things you like or hate? She can't even remember what her real face looks like. As if she truly became a Presepe in the game. What a ridiculous thing. But I know. At that moment, Fenric's deep voice flooded the narrow room. I know you are a warm and kind person. You love flowers, and when the weather is sunny, you sit under the trees to enjoy the air and people watch. Fenric continued talking. Although you always speak kindly, you once called the great wizard Ivan crazy. And also, you have strange curiosities, like trying to use animal dung as medicine, which is a silly but innovative idea.